Hello and welcome. Today I'm in the Tier 9 Pan-Asian destroyer, the Chung Mu. She's basically a Fletcher, except she gets deep water torpedoes, and there are a slight few other differences. You see, she is a Pan-Asian destroyer, so she gets the Pan-Asian smoke screens, 6 of them with Superintendent and the premium smoke screen, plus she doesn't get access to defensive fire, and she has 100 meters better concealment. And the biggest change is that she gets deep water torpedoes instead of normal torpedoes, meaning that these torpedoes cannot hit destroyers, they can hit everything else though. However, in return they get better concealment, basically. So, oh, by the way, one thing more. You see a big work in progress tag in the upper left corner? No, right, left? Left corner, yes. Ignore that, because I left it on by accident. This game happened very, very recently, so, she is definitely not a work in progress. This is literally what the ship is. And I have been playing this ship recently, well, first of all, because I wanted to get to the Yueyang, which I have done now. But second of all, because I think that she's an interesting ship in terms of what kinds of builds you can do on her. You see, if you add up all the torpedo skills on the ship, for instance, you could do a build that could somewhat rival a Sashio in terms of deep water torpedoes. Now, I'll talk about that another time, mostly, because in this case I am not using that build. I am using fairly standard destroyer build, something I would use on the Fletcher, so I focus basically on the guns because, well, she is a Fletcher, she has the 5 guns that deal good damage, and the torpedoes are more or less somewhat secondary because I figured that they wouldn't be the priority. However, I have kind of changed my build, but this is still with the old one. So, I have my 6 smoke screens that you can almost, cycle, which is really nice. And in this game, I went to the B cap in the middle on Warrior's Path. It's a tier 10 game, of course. I kept the B cap while trying to stay defensive. As you saw earlier, I sat next to the rock, pointing with my aft into the cap so that, if necessary, if I get shot at or radared or something, I can start just accelerating forward and run away. I got the cap zone, however, there were some other annoyances that came around and entered this cap zone. Namely, a destroyer plus that Mogami. If it was just a destroyer, it might be okay to try to fight them a bit. But with a cruiser, yeah, unfortunately no. I might get a lucky torpedo hit, but other than that, I'm not gonna risk it. On top of that, I'm mostly just trying to waste their time. I don't want to stay in the smoke right now, because that's a Z46. Not only does she have Hydro available, which could spot me and I wouldn't see her. On top of that, she also has torpedoes that could hit me, and it's better to stay safe, so I'm going to just start disengaging slowly. I'm gonna try to get as many shots as I can, because the Z46 is far away, so she can't Hydro me anymore. And I got a few more shots off, dealing actually quite a bit of damage. Probably not something you would like to take as a destroyer. Now I'm going to torpedo again. By the way, if you're wondering what the torpedo stats more or less are, the torpedo detectability range is 800 meters, and the torpedoes go 66 knots, meaning that you have, I think it's like 4.8 seconds of reaction time, more or less, to react to these torpedoes. Yeah, that's not very much in this game. As a cruiser, battleship, or aircraft carrier, I know, for a battleship and carrier, the rudder doesn't even do anything in that amount of time, right? A cruiser might be able to, do something depending on the cruiser. So these are very, 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 very stealthy torpedoes, considering their speed. And as you can see, I managed to sink a Minotaur that came into that cap zone from somewhere. I mean, we all know Minotaurs are fairly maneuverable ships, right? But here it is. She was unable to avoid even 2 torpedoes. Usually you would expect to be able to avoid at least one of them, but in this case, or at least be able to avoid so you only take one of them, but in this case, who didn't even get that? Now I'll be heading to the side. Oh, I don't know. Do deep water torpedoes have a higher flooding chance? If anybody knows, please let me know in the comments. I know that Asashia torpedoes have a higher flooding chance and the deep water torpedoes unlike the Graf Zeppelin. Also, by the way, right now, something important. You see, I shot one torpedo launcher on the Yamato. Now I'm gonna wait around 10 to 15 to 20 seconds Because what I want to do is I want one of the torpedo launchers to hit, cause a flooding, and then later I launch a second one. And because Yamato's damage control party only lasts for 10 seconds, if she repairs the flooding on the first one, and damage control party runs out and the second one hits and floods her again, she has a permaflood, and that will deal a huge amount of damage. And that is my plan. That is incredibly deadly against battleships. And there's the flooding, and I even broke the engine or rudder. I didn't notice. Meaning that this Yamato probably, or is very, very, very likely to use damage control party immediately because nobody wants their rudder or engine broken in a battleship. And now there are 2 torpedoes coming in. Let's see. Am I gonna get the flooding? Of course I'm gonna get the flooding. You know. And as you can see, she's gonna keep flooding now, because she has already used her damage control party. That probably won't kill the Yamato, but it'll get her very, very close, meaning that quite many ships are going to probably target her, and as you can see, Yamato's HP keeps dropping down and down and down and down, and my torpedoes are reloaded again. These are... If the Yamato sits there, that one torp launcher is going to hit. If not, maybe one of the cruisers runs into them, and the second set is mostly on the Mogami though. But I'm gonna open fire as well, because, you know, maybe it's better to not even bother with waiting for the torpedoes, because my guns can do it. Now, the bad thing is that it's going to get me spotted, meaning that somebody might come to intercept me on the sea cap, but you know, if I enter the sea cap, people will realize anyway. And Yamato just sank, and I got a liquidator for that, in a destroyer. That's not exactly the most common medal you get in a DD. Actually, that's not a common medal you get at all. Many people don't even get it in aircraft carriers, even though that is a very good way of dealing a lot of damage. But I took out the Mogami as well. Too bad it wasn't a double strike, but you know, it is what it is. Now my problem is that the closest cruiser was a Moskva, and well, there's the radar. So I'm gonna have to run here, like right now. So I'm going full speed. Luckily I still have my wait, she isn't here. Okay, she is coming. I was thinking of actually torpedoing her, but nope. Not with this kind of a stuff not with this happening. With her being this close, I don't know if it's worth taking the risk. The good thing was that I had speed boost still active when I started accelerating, because when you have speed boost active, your acceleration from 0 to 10 knots is actually faster. Okay, let's drop the torpedoes since, you know, radar is off. I think that Moscow radar is a bit too early. But you know, that's good for me. Gonna torpedo her, and hopefully I will be able to get a hit on her. So, right now, plan is to just try to sneak around the Moskva, although I might be getting a bit too close to her. My detectability is 5.7 kilometers, so... Oh god, I'm gonna get spotted here. Yep. Okay, I need to smoke, I think. Absolutely need to smoke. And since the Moskva knows exactly where I am, she might actually try to chase me. Problem is that we're 4 against 6 right now, so we're absolutely behind. Plus we only have 1 capstone, they have 2, and they have a 300 points lead. And I have nobody to help me on this side of the map. So I'm thinking right now, okay, so I'm gonna sit here and fight. I can't win this fight normally. If I keep running, I don't know if I can actually get far away enough from her to actually fall into concealment, you know, by the time she gets through the smoke. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna turn around and actually go close and try to surprise her in that smoke screen with torpedoes. That is, I will try to get so close that we get proximity spotted by each other at that 2-kilometer range, and when that happens I will be able to torpedo her, and you know, hopefully she will not be able to avoid it. And if I can do it quickly enough, I might not have to die, you know, for this trade. And I mean, it's down to a 4 versus 4. They're still ahead in points, especially now that they're capping A. But I'll try. Okay, there she is. Okay, I'm gonna launch slightly behind because often ships try to slow down. Ouch, that salvo hurt, but now her guns might have trouble tracking me because I'm turning really, really close to her. Damn, that torpedo launch was not quite enough to finish her off. But this one will definitely do the job. If I had launched the torp slightly better, I guess she would have died to the one launcher, but you know, it is what it is. At least I still had the second set available, but now I can safely cap C. There might be a Hindenburg coming in, I don't know, maybe. I'm thinking of smoking here, but, opening up on Hindenburg with my guns. However, I made the mistake that I didn't realize I was the one spotting the Hindenburg and not somebody else. Well, she is spotted right now, I believe, by somebody other than me, but at this point my guns are already turned elsewhere. I'm gonna try to get as close to this island as I can, because I think that Hindenburg might try to chase me. And let's try to use my guns. If I get one more kill, I get the Kraken, so I'm really interested in getting the kill right now. Okay, she disappeared. That's okay. We're gonna take the cap zone in 10 seconds. I'm gonna torpedo her. Or at least drop some torpedoes in her direction if she's heading in my direction. Well, one set anyway, second is gonna be on the Bismarck. And once... Actually, no. I don't think it's worth it on the Bismarck, maybe. Since she's fighting in Iowa, and the Bismarck is sailing away, I'm not sure if my torpedoes could even reach her. I suppose this is one of the... I don't know if you can call it a disadvantage, because she still has 10.5 kilometer torpedo range, which is more than enough in most cases, but, you know, it could still be better. And I launched the second set so that the Hindenburg might accidentally get hit if she's trying to enter the cap zone. However, it turns out that she is not into that. Now, I could open fire. If I had more health, like let's say 5,000 more, I wouldn't mind actually trying to gunfight the Hindenburg at this kind of range. However, because I have... Okay, not this kind of range. I would want to be slightly closer because my maximum range is 11 kilometers because I don't use the gunfire control system. You know, because I don't think 12 kilometer range is necessary on the ship. It's too hard to hit those targets. But now I will just go closer. If I had 5k more HP, I think this gunfight would absolutely be easy for me. But right now I'm kinda uneasy. You see, if I die here, we only have 3 minutes left. I don't know if we have enough points to still win if that Hindenburg gets away. Because maybe the Bismarck and Iowa trade each other. In that case, you know, it would only leave me and the Minotaur. And if I die too, the points might be in the opposing team's favor. Come on. 200 HP, come on. I'm trying to avoid a lot with this. Come on, 200 HP, come on. One more shell hit, one more shell hit. Come on, let's go. Tried to slow down, but unfortunately, somebody else took the kill. It doesn't really matter though, because we still won the game. And it was quite amazing, in fact, to think about how much I did this game. I managed to sink a Yamato, I managed to sink a Moskva, I managed to scare off a Hindenburg, I managed to take 2 cap zones, I managed to scare off a Z-46, I think I even gunfought a Mogami down as a tier 9 destroyer, and I was rewarded for it. 2800 base XP. Although I think without this Iowa and the Minotaur, this would not have been doable. I don't know about Yamato because I didn't pay enough attention to her. And as you can see, 161k damage, 90,000 on that Yamato with 59,000 flooding damage. And that's because I fired my torpedo launchers in a staggered way. I just hope people don't pick up on this because it's really annoying to deal with as a battleship. You see one launcher of torpedoes come by, you get hit, you go like, okay, I'm flooding, I need to Damicon, and then a second set arrives and you're like, well, now I'm screwed. But you know, as a destroyer, you should try to use all your tools to the best of your ability. Anyways, that's kinda it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would like to thank the Patreons on Patreon. Thank you very much for your continued support, Holadian, and I hope I'll see you guys next time.